Hello, and thank you for contacting Wave Support. I see from your request you're looking to refit this patient who's previously worn a Wave lens successfully, and a couple thoughts on that. If you're able to obtain his previous Wave files from the other doctor, that's probably the simplest approach you can take. If you're able to achieve those lenses, those Wave designs, you can simply hit Tools, and if I move this a little bit higher, simply choose Tools and put Import, and import the Wave design from your computer wherever you happen to save that. If you don't have that data, we can go back to redesign this lens. A couple things to keep in mind: I usually like to keep these lenses a little on the larger side to get the landing zone outside that steepened area in the topography. And if you look at, so I like to start out somewhere around it. Maybe a 10.5 or so is a good starting point. I like to, there's a lot of debate where you set the red and the blue dots for these types of corneas. I tend to like to set that red dot somewhere along the inside area that's steepening, somewhere, in this case, somewhere around 6 or so. And then we'll set the blue at about 7 or so. Very good. And then I like to design these in freeform. If you go to freeform and let Wave go ahead and design this lens. And I'll pause the video while it's doing the design. Back again. So if we look at this design, you'll see if we go to each principal meridian, you have a pretty nice looking lens lining up pretty well with that corneal line, the green line, and this lens would fit probably reasonably well for a starting point. You would want to make sure you get enough clearance by raising that pink dot up some, especially in that you want to make sure you have clearance in that vertical meridian for a tear pump. The other thing I like to do sometimes in these, if I really want to try to mimic that cornea, I'll put a little bit of the S factor in here, and usually choose about a negative 0.05. And once again, if you let Wave design that one, you'll see when this lens finishes lining up. And back again, now that this lens has been designed, you see you have a back surface. If you look at that lower left image in the quad 4, you'll see that that back surface of the lens very closely mimics the front surface of that cornea. In order to have this lens not fit too tightly, you want to do maybe bring up that blue and the pink dot a little bit, making sure you have enough edge lift around that lens. And I would use this as a really good starting point. Don't forget to include your sphere and cylinder refractions. I tend to like to start these in tangential mode because I think tangential tends to give you a nice representation out here of that peripheral cornea. Although if you tend to get a little extra movement, you can easily switch over to axial and reapproach it from that standpoint. Well, I hope you find this helpful, and I wish you well with this case. Thank you for contacting Wave Support, and have a great day.